today's top boxing news. Ow!
Okay, we'll start with this later on this month, towards the tail end of it, on the 31st. Sophie Elise will be making her UK debut opposite the ring seasoned journeywoman Beck Connolly, live on Channel 5 in the United Kingdom. As part of a Wasserman boxing show, Wasserman, that's Kayla Nisei Soiland. They did a lot of promotions over there in Germany. They've got that market cornered, and they do some business over in the United Kingdom as well. Sophie Elise is a Wasserman boxing fighter. She'll be making her UK debut at York Hall in London, sporting a professional record of 8 wins, no losses and no draws, 1 knockout, just 1 recorded knockout. Sophie's not the biggest puncher, but she's also very young. I don't think she's fully maturated as a fighter. Not yet, not at 21 years old. There's more work needs doing, campaigning in the women's featherweight division. Featherweight, that's 126 pounds. That's where Amanda Serrano currently reigns as that division's undisputed champion. Sophie is one of several unbeaten up-and-comers coming through those ranks. The United Kingdom's own Karis Artingstall, Raven Chapman, Australia's own Sky Nicholson, Germany's own Sarah Liegman. Sarah, she's Sophie's countrywoman. She's supposed to be returning to action very soon, and Sophie herself, she'll be in action later on this month, on the 31st. Sophie, who, as a result of the pandemic, she didn't get to be all that productive in 2020. She sat out all of 2021, but she returned to action last year in March, fought 2 times last year. Once in March, then again in May. It's unfortunate she sat out the 3rd and 4th quarter of last year. There was plenty of time there to schedule more fights for Sophie Elise, but, it just is what it is. The silver lining is she's a very young fighter, and she's got plenty of time. At just 21 years old, she's already got 8 professional fights, 8 professional victories. Bit of a child prodigy, Sophie Elise. She exhibits a high ceiling for someone so young. She really does. She's got a lot of tools. Fighting at a slight crouch, Sophie Elise is best described as somewhat herky-jerky. A well-balanced fighter that's good at a lot of things. Good movement, knows how to keep her head off the line. Slip, roll, and counter, bob and weave, knows how to counter in kind. Good hand speed, good foot speed, good situational awareness, good angles. She's good at a lot of things, and she can only become that much better the more rounds she banks, the more fights she has. Hopefully, she'll be a more productive fighter, a more active fighter this year. Maybe she can get in 2, 3, maybe even 4 fights. Because Sophie Elise is so young, there's no need to be targeting alphabet titles, world titles, at this point in the juncture. At this point, it's all about garnering professional experience in order to feed and fuel the monster that she could be 1 or 2 years from now. When you got a fighter this young and this talented, you don't have to rush them into anything. No. Nor should you. No. For what? All the alphabet titles at this weight are held by the same fighter, the same champion, the same pound-for-pound elite-level boxer in Amanda Serrano. And needless to say, in spite of Sophie Elise's very high ceiling and all the talent she exhibits, it'd be a long while before she's ready to fight somebody like that. There's more work needs doing. So it really don't make no sense thinking about alphabet titles here and now. Later on this month, she'll be opposite the ring seasoned journeywoman Beck Connolly, who's been in there with just about everybody. It's not a dissimilar fight from the Adina Kiss fight that Sophie Elise had some time ago. It's that kind of fight. Bring along fight. Developmental fight. That's what it is. She'll be opposite the ring Beck Connolly. Beck Connolly, who is in the United Kingdom what Adina Kiss is everywhere else. She's that tough, seasoned veteran, that journeywoman fighter that's willing to give a talented young up-and-comer some rounds. That's all it is. Sophie Elise, who has very generous physical dimensions for a featherweight, 126-pound fighter. Because she's so young, I could definitely see her one day moving up to 130 pounds and perhaps capping out at 135. Yeah, I could see that. For now, keep your eyes peeled for the ring return of Sophie Elise later on this month, towards the tail end of it, opposite the ring, a very familiar face in Beck Connolly.
Right. It's up to him.
Deontay Wilder feels Jake Paul got robbed. I spoke to him post-fight. What do you make of that?
Deontay Wilder's a prick. Deontay Wilder's talked about my brother for 2 years. When he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch.
Bomb squad! Bomb squad!
Hey, round 4, guys?
Yeah, good.
Bless.
Deontay Wilder's talked about my brother for 2 years. When he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch. That was the facts of the matter.
Tyson Fury's brother, he's not wrong. The things that Deontay Wilder said about Tyson Fury, that he cheated, that he loaded his raps with something. All those accusations that were never substantiated. And bear in mind that it wasn't that long ago that Deontay Wilder, in his own words, said that Fury versus Usyk is all about who cheats better. Who's the bigger cheater? It was just a few weeks ago, so what that indicates is that Deontay Wilder, for the most part, he still feels that Tyson Fury cheated in their fights. He didn't make peace with it. He hasn't accepted defeat. He still rationalizes that the only reason he lost to Fury the last 2 times was because there was foul play at work, only so that when he is so confronted with Tyson Fury in the flesh,
Bomb squad! Bomb squad!
Hey, round 4, guys?
Yeah,
Round 4?
good.
Bless.
I don't think I'm overstating things by saying it's a bit cringeworthy.
I'm no fan of Tyson Fury.
You guys know that, but even I have to admit that the accusations Deontay Wilder made against Tyson Fury
They were ridiculous.
was stupid. And it wouldn't be that bad if Deontay Wilder hadn't have made those accusations. That if he would have lost those 2 fights, those last 2 fights in the exact same fashion, it wouldn't be that bad.
Wouldn't be the end of the world that he lost. You just lost to the better man. No harm, no foul.
It's not uncommon for fighters that share the ring with each other to at times develop a bond afterwards, having shared the ring with each other and tested each other's mettle, seeing what the other fighter is made of. It's not uncommon that some fighters, after they fight, they become friends.
Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti.
Paulie Malignaggi and Adrian Broner, Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko.
It's not uncommon that when 2 fighters face each other, when they share the ring, a mutual respect is formed, and it wouldn't have been the end of the world if Deontay lost those 2 fights in the exact same way that he lost him had he not made the accusations that he made.
That's what makes it cringeworthy. That's what makes it worse.
And all the yes men that Deontay Wilder surrounded himself with, they just compounded it. His delusions.
The yes men that he still surrounds himself with. That's what makes his fall from grace that much harder. The fact that he is not only the architect of his own downfall, his own demise.
Because you never had to give this guy a title shot. It's not like he earned one. You sought him out as an alternative to an Anthony Joshua fight.
You and your team brought this upon yourselves. This guy wasn't the mandatory challenger to the WBC title. You voluntarily brought him into the picture, so here we are.
So that when it turns out it's not as easy as you thought it was going to be, when it all blows up in your face, you can accuse the guy of cheating.
Not that I think Tyson Fury's the most honorable man or the best sportsman per se, but stupid is stupid.
After the second fight and ahead of the third.
Ahead of that trilogy, when Deontay Wilder went to that press conference with headphones on as to not engage the media or Tyson Fury head on, not to engage the media or Tyson Fury directly, to tune them out, essentially. I said it then. Deontay Wilder is a broken man.
He's traumatized.
His reality was shaken by that second fight. Tried to regain his footing just to find out.
He's going to beat you again.
Right here. It's just no casket yet. This fight right here, I will get a body on my record. I've been wanting one for a long time now anyway. I want a body, and he gonna be the body.
From wanting a body on his record to this.
Talking
Look how
about
he
Pritchard
got hit.
Cologne.
Richard Cologne. There's Pritchard Cologne.
Yep.
Correct. This man ain't have no kids. Man, they don't understand, man. Y'all don't fucking understand what we go through, man. And I don't even know him like that. But I always be an advocate for us because
Take your time.
this man would never know what it feel like to be somebody's father.
I've always thought Deontay Wilder was a fraud, a phony, a fake. And I'm not going to apologize for thinking that. I'm not going to apologize because Tyson Fury exposed it.
I'm not going to apologize because he picked a cherry and it blew up in his face.
For years, Deontay Wilder claimed he wanted to kill a man in the ring. He wanted a body on his record.
He said this more than once, and more than once, it was in poor taste because of the passing of Ginette Zapata, the passing of Maxim Dadashev, Patrick Day.
It was always in poor taste, but that didn't stop Deontay Wilder from saying it, only so he can turn around and do his best Sally Struthers impression after the Hellenius fight.
Oh, what, now you care so much about the fighters? I thought you wanted a body on your record.
Stark contrast that makes you ask, which one is the act?
Is Deontay Wilder being genuine, and when is he being the quote-unquote bronze bomber? When he says he wants to kill a man, a family man, in the ring, in Dominic Breazeale, or when he cries his crocodile tears after stopping Robert Hellenius? Who's the real Wilder?
Both look like a bunch of phonies to me.
And that's why I'm not the least bit surprised that Deontay may maintain his cheating accusations against Tyson Fury when Tyson's not around.
When he is around, you'd never know it, because he came face to face with him the other day and it was all smiles, hugs, and blessings.
You gonna embrace the guy that you think cheated in your fights 2 times?
Is that how it works? Tyson Fury's brother? He hit the nail on the head.
And I'm not big on the Furies. You guys know that.
Yeah, that whole family makes my ass itch.
But Tyson Fury's brother, he's not wrong. Deontay trashed Tyson Fury, accused him of cheating only so that when push came to shove...
Well, you saw what you saw. His spirit is broken. He's traumatized. He's not the same man now after those Tyson Fury fights that he was before those Tyson Fury fights.
He got a reality check.
That's the easiest way to put it. Finally, the BBBofC head hopes foreign commissions do not allow Conor Benn to box until his innocence is proven, even after the World Boxing Council has declared him clear to fight by way of their own sanctioning body.
They're not a commission, though. They don't issue out boxing licenses.
The BBBofC does. In a piece published in The Guardian this week, Smith, the head of the British Boxing Board of Control, the regulatory body that oversees prize fighting in the United Kingdom, expressed his belief in a sense of unity and congruence among boxing's haphazard governing bodies. Smith's remarks were in reference to recent news that handlers for the embattled British welterweight Conor Benn are exploring preliminary ways for him to obtain a foreign license in a major jurisdiction, such as Las Vegas and New York.
We'll see.
In order to resume his career, thereby skirting the fact that Benn cannot box in his homeland since he relinquished his license with the board last year in the wake of his 2 failed drug tests.
That's a bit of strategy.
Relinquishing his license before the BBBofC can reach adjudication and perhaps issue out a suspension, Conor Benn willfully relinquished his license.
Seems like the BBBofC want to hold his feet to the fire.
Benn tested positive for the banned performance-enhancing drug clomiphene on 2 separate occasions, and both were administered by the respected third-party testing agency, the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association. The board and the United Kingdom Anti-Doping are currently investigating Benn, although Smith has publicly complained that Benn's legal team has not been forthcoming with certain information. The Guardian interview
In it.
Smith expressed hope that the commissions such as the Nevada State Athletic Commission or the New York State Athletic Commission will, like the BBBofC, not allow Benn to obtain a license until there is legitimate proof of his innocence.
And I don't know how well that's going to go over, because I remember when Billy Joe Saunders tested positive for a banned substance ahead of what was supposed to be the Demetrius Andrade fight.
The commission over there in Rhode Island, where the fight was supposed to take place, the commission didn't allow the contest to go on, but in spite of that,
It had no bearing on the BBBofC.
tested positive for that banned substance in September of 2018. Later on that year, he was able to box in Manchester without issue, opposite the ring Charles Adamu.
The BBBofC in the UK didn't stop him from fighting in light of what happened in America.
Obviously, they're major commissions, aware of what's going on with the Benn case, Smith told The Guardian's Donald McRae. We don't have any power to decide licenses elsewhere, but we can give any advice we have, which at this stage is very little because we haven't received any documentation from Benn's representatives. Ultimately, these other commissions have to do their own investigations, and it's their decision whether or not to license Benn. The biggest problem with the sport, Smith continued, is that there is no world governing body. We all look after ourselves, which is a great shame. However, the big organizations, and I would like to claim that we are one of the big organizations, along with the state commissions in Nevada, California, New Jersey, and New York, they tend to do the same thing.
But you didn't do the same thing that the commission in Rhode Island did when Billy Joe Saunders tested positive for a banned substance. You didn't penalize him in any way, shape, or form.
He was able to box in Manchester later on that year. Benn recently became the beneficiary of some favorable news last month when the World Boxing Council ruled that it found, quote-unquote, a reasonable explanation that Benn's positive tests could have been the consequence of highly elevated consumption of eggs. As a result, Benn has been reinstated into the sanctioning body's welterweight rankings. Not long after that, Benn recently informed a British tabloid that he was planning to sue the board for damages to the tune of £3.5 million in their handling of his drug tests. Benn has also taken issue with the WBC's ruling. In a lengthy statement, he said the sanctioning body did him a disservice by suggesting his positive drug tests were the result of contaminated eggs, and not, as he believes, errors in the testing's protocol.
And you know, nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to make light that the WBC has given Ben an out.
Same way Oscar Valdez was given an out after he tested positive for phentermine. The explanation was it came from some kind of tea that he was drinking, and people had fun with that for a while, but they eventually got over it.
They're not holding Oscar's feet to the fire over that stuff anymore because they don't care that much.
Conor Benn was given an out the same way Oscar was given an out, but Conor's not taking this lying down. He's being persistent.
You don't wonder as to why that is?
You should. It would be easier to just go with the WBC's explanation than pursuing this battle. There's a reason that Conor Benn is being so persistent. Eddie Hearn told The Guardian in the same article that he's not interested in trying to obtain a license for Conor Benn from a commission with a low profile, only ones with relevance. Hearn also stated that Australia could be an option since Benn has family there. Hearn said he expects Benn to receive a license in a couple of weeks. Elsewhere, Hearn has said he hopes to have Benn return to the ring by June.
There it is.
I'm not going to Luxembourg or somewhere that doesn't have relevance to his career, Hearn said. There have been preliminary talks with U.S. commissions about a month ago.
The BBBofC wants to hold Conor Benn's feet to the fire, and Conor is electing to fight fire with fire. He's suing them.
I don't know that they have the strongest case against him because the BBBofC doesn't normally use third-party anti-doping organizations to adjudicate and dispense punishment.
And it doesn't help that the WBC and VADA themselves have backtracked on their initial findings, pointing to tainted eggs.
Simultaneously, talks for a Manny Pacquiao versus Conor Benn fight are on the rise. Manny Pacquiao's MP Promotions rep, Sean Gibbons, has stated that Pacquiao is now back in training and seeking a fight to bring him out of retirement at age 44. Gibbons has welcomed a clash with Conor Benn. Talks are ongoing despite Benn's positive drug test situation.
On the face of it, most people will tell you that it's bad optics for Conor Benn to face a 44-year-old Manny Pacquiao in light of what's going on.
Perhaps they're right, but you tell me if any of them are going to look away.
You know what they say. Any publicity is good publicity. Good or bad publicity.
Don't get on a moral high horse about performance-enhancing drugs in the sport of boxing if you're a fan of fighters like, say, Tyson Fury, who tested positive for nandrolone years ago. You don't actually care about this that much.
The fans aren't that altruistic.
Whether you think Conor is innocent or you think Conor is guilty, everybody's watching. This has only increased his profile.